Hey, everybody. It's Steve Alexander, Dr. A. Today is Thursday, April 4th. This is the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. He's Rick Kamla. And did somebody say Malachi Flynn?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Rick Kamla. It is FSWA Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A, and we are the Fantasy OGs. And yes, Dr. A, Malachi Flynn happened last night. Malachi Flynn had 50 points. This doesn't make any sense in any universe. Kevin Porter Jr. had a 50, very unlikely. Sadiq Bey had a 50, very unlikely. There's been a lot of unlikely 50-point games, Doc. But statistically, this is the most unlikely 50 of all time. So you can take the subjectivity out of it and just put the objectivity of stats on this thing. He has by far the lowest scoring average going into his 50 of any player in NBA history. Malachi Flynn came into last night at 5.2 points per game. Terrence Ross was at 7.4. Tony Delk was at 8. Walt Wesley, I don't even know who he is, okay, 9.1. Tracy Murray, my guy, 9.9. And Corey Brewer, 9.9. And we've had two 50s off the bench in this century, J.R. Smith and Malachi Flynn. Doc, this is the silliest of all of the silly season performances, okay? It sounds like hyperbole and all that kind of stuff, but it's not. It's true.
Yeah, I just want to know if anybody had Malachi Flynn in a FanDuel or a DraftKings or a championship line. Like what scenario did somebody actually benefit from Malachi Flynn last night in fantasy? I doubt there's many people out there who did. There's probably one dude that was like, yep, I had him in my FanDuel team and I won money. But it's just crazy, man. And you think of some of the silly season heroes over the years. You've got your Anthony Randolphs and your, guys that just sort of blow up at the end of the season out of nowhere and go on like a 3-run tear. But for Malachi Flynn, what was his previous scoring high in the NBA? Do we know that?
I don't know that.
I bet you
I would
like
guess maybe like 25. Maybe he popped up for 25 one night.
It's just crazy.
It is absolutely crazy, Doc. Hold on. No question about it. You know what else is crazy, Doc? The fact that his previous career high was 27, Doc. So I was close. I said 25. Previous career high was 27. Doc, this game was not supposed to happen. Okay? Cade Cunningham was listed in the starting lineup, I don't know, a half hour before the game, whatever that was. And I have Cade in the Cam Dynasty. And so, he's questionable for every game here. So, you're leading up to tip-off. Is he in? Is he out? The whole world is sitting around in suspense on pins and needles here. Woo! All right, cool. Cade Cunningham is playing tonight. Put him in your lineup, right? Well, and Santi Aldama, Memphis did a yo-yo thing with him last night, okay? Guys, I want to tell you something right now. You have to set a lot of alarms, okay? You need to set an alarm for 6:45 before the 7 o'clock games. You need to set an alarm for 7:20 before the 7:30 games. You need to set an alarm for like 7:45 before the 8 o'clock games. You need to set an alarm if there's an 8:30 game for 8:20. If there's a Denver game or a Utah game, you need to set an alarm for 8:45. And the 10 o'clock game, set an alarm for 9:45. Guys, don't put your lineup to bed right now. Last night proved it, okay? And a lot of people got completely screwed over by Cade Cunningham last night, Doc. Completely screwed over. Might have cost them a championship, okay? That's how big that was. Because if you're taking a bagel in that spot where you're usually going to get, 25 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, right? The Cade Cunningham stat line, you might lose your week by that stat line, okay? Set alarms, and it's annoying. It's going to drive your wife crazy because you're going to be sitting watching and shows on and stuff, and your phone's going to be blowing. Your wife's going to be like, bro, do you have a mistress? You're going to be like, no, I'm trying to win fantasy championships around here, okay? So you got to do it, guys. You got to do it. Cade Cunningham, and it's not his fault. It's the damn Pistons, the dumbass Pistons, okay? They literally pivoted fantasy championships last night with that chicanery. So, Doc, this was a 50 that was not supposed to happen because if Cade Cunningham plays, Malachi Flynn has 8 points last night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not hyperbole. It's literally one of the weirdest stat lines in the history of the NBA. And did you see the breaking news that I bet you may not have seen it. Julius Randle's done.
I did. I was just texting my producer at NBA Radio. I've been like in in fantasy mode here. Yeah, he is. The reporting is out for the year, going to have shoulder surgery. Gosh, this takes my brain in so many directions, Doc. One, boy, it's been a long wait, right? You know what I mean? Like, why make the decision now? I guess you're trying to play the long game and see if it feels better before the playoffs, and it just wasn't coming around for him. So I guess that. But, now I'm wondering if this is going to bleed into next year because, Doc, we're here in April, and the season starts, training camp starts in September, which is 5 months out. This is, I don't know, Doc, maybe a 4 to 6 week injury. So this might eat a little bit into the start of next year with them prolonging, the decision to finally have the surgery. And so I wanted to say that. But the other thing is here, Doc, Precious Achiuwa and Josh Hart is questionable tonight. Mitchell Robinson is questionable for tonight. So Precious Achiuwa is back now. He's a guy you definitely want to look at. But Doc, the Knicks are done. Okay. Like OG Anunoby might come back at some point. That's not going to be enough for the Knicks to beat the Boston Celtics. And they could hang with the Bucks without Julius Randle, probably lose. They could hang with Philly. We got to see if Joel Embiid can get in better shape and move better. He looked awful the other night, okay? Somehow, amazingly, miraculously, had a big stat line and made hero shots at the end of the game because he's Joel Embiid. But you know what I'm saying, Doc? The Knicks are done. That's it. Like, they can't win big this year without Julius Randle, and that sucks for them.
Well, and I think that's the reason that they waited so long for him to have surgery. If they decide to give him surgery a month or two ago, they're kind of throwing in the towel on the season. Like, hey, we got time here. All we got to do is get him back for the playoffs, and then we got a shot. So I think that was the whole. Let's hang on. Let's not do anything crazy here. Let's give ourselves a chance to win it because honestly, with the way Josh Hart's playing, the way Isaiah Hartenstein's playing, with the way Jalen Brunson is playing. Really, the Knicks exceeded expectations this season. If we have OG healthy and we have Julius Randle, we got a shot. So let's take our shot, and maybe this is the year we can turn everything around. Didn't really work out, and they're not officially dead in the water. I mean, they can still do something. But to your point, Celtics are their best team in the East, still, in my opinion. And to get by them, you're going to need to be at full strength.
I mean, to get by Milwaukee or Philly or Orlando, right? Orlando's going to win the 4 spot now. They have the tiebreaker against New York. New York is flagging, and Orlando got a huge win at New Orleans last night, and it was spicy. We had cheap shots all over the place last night, Doc. I freaking loved that game. You had I didn't love Gary Harris diving at Zion Williamson's legs. Okay. I thought that was Bush League. That's not a basketball play. That's some football crap. Okay. Like, I don't even get that. It was not a loose ball. You can't dive at a guy's legs when he's just dribbling the ball up. That's a tackle. Okay. But then you had retaliation, right? CJ McCollum getting the elbow into Jalen Suggs as he drove. And, oh, man, that game was fun. There were all kinds of technical fouls and ejections at the end of the game. Woo! Ooh! Ooh! I like that stuff, Doc. That stuff gets me fired up, man. Now, let's reel it back in here and talk Malachi Flynn because, Doc, I do believe he's a pickup. And here's why. And I want to get into some pickups for the people here because, Doc, we have it's very easy to fill your lineups on Friday and Sunday, okay? And we're winning championships here. We're trying to make the championship game if you're in a semifinal. So Thursday and Saturday are the tough days to fill. Low game total, okay? Malachi Flynn plays Friday. Who cares? But he plays on Saturday, Doc. And if that's a non-Cade game, and maybe even a non-Jaden Ivey game. Maybe Cade's done for the year, maybe not. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But it's a back-to-back, so Cade ain't going to play in both of those games, Doc. And Saturday is going to be its Final Four day, men's Final Four, okay? The women's Final Four is on Friday, and I'm way more stoked for that than I am the men's Final Four. All right, is what it is. But the NBA schedule's away from the men's Final Four, so we got a light slate on Saturday, Doc. So to me, Malachi Flynn is a stash right now. If you have the room and you're maneuvering your lineup. Okay, I got holes to fill on Saturday. I can drop this guy because I got a bunch of guys on Friday and Sunday. You know, like a Sam Hauser, right? He's playing on Friday and Sunday. Who cares? I've got all my starters are playing those days. Go ahead and drop him and pick up a Malachi Flynn to fill a hole for you on Saturday night.
I like that. And it's funny because when I moved this on from Malachi Flynn to Julius Randle, I did not know that you had a pick Malachi Flynn segment coming up, or I would have left you there. I thought,
who cares, dude? We're just rolling through a day, man. Who cares?
If we're not picking up Malachi Flynn, I think we've spoken long enough about Malachi Flynn. But to your point, that Saturday is dead. Like, how many games are there Saturday? I don't think I have a single guy going in 30 deep on Saturday. They're all playing Sunday.
Yeah, let me get to the amount of games on Saturday. I know it's a light
slate. Got to be 2 or 3.
And I've got it right here. We got Cavs and Lakers. We got Pistonians at Nets. We got Sixers and Grizzlies. And we got Hawks and Nuggets. We got 4 games, a 4-pack, Dr. Ray.
And then, the Orlando Magic, by the way, are one of the more intriguing playoff teams in the entire thing to me because – first of all, you never hear about them ever, except when you're fired up about a spicy game in April. You never hear about Orlando Magic in February or January. And then I'm on this I'm on a Panama City Beach ESPN show every Tuesday, and they're always fired up about the Orlando Magic. They're always talking to me about the Magic. And I look at that roster and I look at the box score, and it's always so spread out and kind of boring. Like, nobody ever scores 30. Everybody scores like 13 points. And it's one of those weird, bland, boring teams, and they're really, really good. I don't know how they're this good. But man, I don't know these teams in the East are going to be wanting to see any Magic in the playoffs.
I mean, the way they play, you don't want to see them, but their lack of playoff experience means you do want to see them. So it's that thing, right? I can tell you why the Magic are, I've adopted them this year, Doc. They're my squad, okay? Low key, I'm not, waving banners and pom-poms around here, but I'm about to purchase a Suggs jersey. Just got myself a Wemby. So, I'm down here in Florida, dude. I got to wear, the T-shirts are too much to go outside with, right? Got to work on the tan a little bit. But Suggs is my guy, Doc. Suggs is my guy, okay? I want to be in the foxhole with that guy. I'm also a huge Paolo Banchero fan. And I live 2 hours away from Orlando, here in Central or Gulf Coast of Florida. They're my squad, Doc. Why are they my squad? Because I love how they play. They play so freaking hard. They're badasses out there, okay? They just don't know how to win playoff games yet. That's it. They will eventually, and they may even learn how to do that this year and surprise everybody and win a first-round playoff series. But the hard hat mentality that they have, Doc, and they're an elite defensive team. That's why they're good. But you're right. Doc's right. Their box scores suck. Okay. You'll have Cole Anthony off the bench with 13. Wagner will have 20. Paulo will have 22. Suggs will have 14. Wendell will flirt around a double-double. And, they'll get 11 from Mo Wagner off the bench. And somehow that's a win. Okay. Now let's talk Amir Coffey here, Doc. It is the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast with Steve Alexander, FSWA Hall of Famer, and Rick Kamla. We are the OGs. Let's talk about some of these guys to pick up, Doc, and give the people to win a championship game or a semifinal game with this Thursday and Saturday thing. Amir Coffey of the Los Angeles Clippers is a guy you really need to look at picking up right now. He plays Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. All right. So if you're in a really deep lineup league, he will then fit into holes for you on Friday and Sunday. But he's definitely going to find a hole in every lineup tonight with the low amount of games. He's a good source of threes. Probably give you around 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 or 3 threes. not going to be a great stat line. But we just need, like, Doc, we talk about all the time. We're not doing this for 25 points. We're doing this to accumulate day after day after day after day, these small little waiver pickups that give you an additional 60 points, an additional 30 assists, an additional 13 threes. Boom, you win, okay? Kawhi Leonard is out with knee soreness, Doc, 2 straight games now. And so this is why we're talking about Amir Coffey, and alarms are sounding in my head about Kawhi, Doc, because it's Kawhi and it's knee soreness, okay? How are you feeling about Amir Coffey here as a deep league pickup?
I think he's very viable. I don't know how you ignore the schedule, and he's had some good games off the bench this season. It's usually what Norm Powell goes off. Did I get that right? His teammate, yeah. But Coffey's right there too, and Coffey has been a silly season hero in the past. When these guys start dropping, when your Kawhi Leonard goes down, which Kawhi, it is a little nerve-wracking, and having a team that has Kawhi Leonard on it and still trying to play for something is not fun right now. So, yeah, I'm down with picking him up.
If you have Kawhi Leonard and you're downshifting to Amir Coffey, I'm sorry, okay? I'm almost, and maybe you have to do that. But I mean, if we're out here and I'm not a Kawhi manager and I'm just trying to fill holes, I am definitely buzzarding, this roadkill situation. I'm going to go eat that, okay? I will. I'm a predator that way. Noah Clowney, Doc, is another guy. Spiked last night, had a career high 22 points, had 10 boards, had 3 threes. And Trendon Watford went whoop, and he vaporized, okay? So go ahead and drop him and pick up Noah Clowney. Back to the Saturday thing. Noah Clowney plays on Saturday, and he plays on Sunday. So, again, it's about picking up an extra dude to fill a hole on Saturday. And, I mean, Doc, these are some guys that I literally can't believe we're talking about right now, but it's silly season, man. And if there's people out there arrogant and thinking that they don't need these guys to win a championship, Doc, right? I don't need to go to the waiver wire. Tell them that they are wrong.
It just depends on your league. Like my lineups are all kind of set. I've burned through all my pickups. I've done what I can do. We are just waiting for our
tight. You're just holding on tight, right?
I'm up 5-4 in the second week of 30 deep. I feel like I'm in okay shape there. I made a bunch of moves and picked up a bunch of scrubs. This is interesting. I just tried to pick up Noah Clowney. Is that Jadavian's brother or something? Are they related? I've never heard of Noah Clowney.
I don't know, and I don't believe so.
He's unavailable. Andre Snelling's already has him on his 30 deep team. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, these are guys that are going to they're going to be game changers. And the way I won this 30 team league the first time was because I picked up Jeremy Lin the day before Linsanity happened. And if you pick up Noah Clowney or Jordan Goodwin the day before they go nuts, you might win your league.
Let's talk about Jordan Goodwin, Doc. He plays Friday and Saturday. So, again, we're filling a hole on Saturday here. Memphis has finally found their silly season point guard, Doc. We had the Scottie Pippen thing. We had the Jacob Gilliard thing. He's in Brooklyn now, by the way. And Goodwin is now starting and putting up decent numbers. The fantasy gold is leaving me flat, Doc, but we're in desperation mode here. Beggars can't be choosers. And so he is a really good pickup right now. In the last week, guys, he's going 11 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.3 threes. He was a steal guy in Washington, and he's a good defensive player. I'm not sure why the steals have just completely gone away. Maybe we're going to get a 4-steal game coming up here, right, to kind of balance it out. But he's been a good steal guy. I'm a little weird on why we're not getting steals from him right now. But, Doc, he's been double-digit rebounds in 3 straight games. We got a game coming up on Saturday. I think Jordan Goodwin is a fantastic pickup for people.
Yeah, and also and we're not only dealing with fantasy basketball playoffs here, we're also dealing with DFS. And he's another guy that is a good DFS play right now as well. He's doubling like every time he plays. And he's sort of been turned loose by the Grizzlies, and it's silly season, and it's Goodwin season. It's all the seasons right now. And staying in Memphis, we got Jake LaRavia, who also plays on Friday and Saturday, obviously, and he's kind of hot. So Memphis is still, and has been all year, one of the waiver wire gold mines in fantasy this year. You muted.
Pardon me. Washington comes to mind with that. Portland comes to mind to me a little bit with that. And it, like, Doc, I'll be honest, it's annoying. It is annoying. Okay. Diving into the minutia of the box scores of the Wizards, the Blazers, the Grizzlies. It's like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm pathetic. I'm obsessed. I'm literally a psycho and a sicko around here. Yeah, guilty as charged. That's what we are. We're trying to win championships around here. You got to turn over every single stone to find these guys. Let's talk Kyle Lowry here, Doc, because you mentioned Jake LaRavia. I'd rather have Goodwin, but LaRavia over the last week is going 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, almost 2 threes per game. Plays on Saturday. He'd be a good look and especially if that's like all right, we're going to suddenly decide to rest some key players, then LaRavia is going to spike. Kyle Lowry is an interesting player here, Doc. And we have Embiid questionable tonight. We have Maxey questionable tonight. And so obviously Lowry's value is very connected to their availability, but he plays Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Think about that. That's as good as it gets right now. And also even better than Sacramento, which we'll get to in a second, because the 2 hard days to fill here are Thursday and Saturday. Philly and whoever is giving us goodies from the Sixers fills both of those holes. Kind of like last week with the Hawks heading into the weekend, they filled the 2 weird holes, and the Bruno Fernandos and the Vic Krejcis and all these guys were big waiver wire pickups. The Sixers are that team this week. Kyle Lowry, Doc, very inconsistent. Efficiency is a problem. He might go 1 of 9 on you, okay? But he's always been a great source for threes, steals, and assists. And so I believe that just keep an eye on Lowry, okay? I believe that Maxey and Embiid are going to play tonight, Doc. It is a game against Miami. It is a huge game for the standings, as Philly is going to try to win out of the play-in tournament and get into the top 6. I don't think they're going to do that, but they're going to try. So just keep your eye on Kyle Lowry right here, man. What do you think about Lowry maybe filling a hole on Thursday and Saturday?
Philly has campaign too, right?
They do, and he's been playing pretty well lately.
Yeah, so I feel like this is one of those situations where I know the other night the news blurbs were all like, "Oh, campaign's going to get the start. Campaign's going to put up the numbers," and it was Kyle Lowry who did it. And then I think maybe the next game people bid on Lowry, and it was campaign. Like, I feel like this is a trap kind of with Lowry, but the schedule, like, we're not looking to hit home runs, man. We just need a warm body out there to get us 5 assists and 10 points. And that's what Kyle Lowry does. So for the Thursday and the Sunday or Thursday and Saturday, it's totally worth it. Worth the gamble. You're muted, sir.
Dang it, that's twice. You bring up a good point. Cameron Payne might be, let's debate that for a second here. Cameron Payne in the last game went, and that was the OKC game in Embiid's return. He went 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, had a steal, and hit 2 threes. The game before, he had 24 points, made 6 bombs, and didn't really do much else. Who would you rather have right now, Lowry or Payne, given these questionable circumstances with Maxey and Joel Embiid? Who would you rather have, Payne or Lowry?
Well, since I wrote Kyle Lowry out of my life last year after that disastrous personal leave that never ended, I'm going campaign. I just don't trust Kyle Lowry. Plus, he's like, what, 37 years old?
Yeah, he's old. He's old and carby.
Carby.
And carby. I literally have never said that before except right now. You guys decipher and interpret what I mean by that. I don't want to go any further on that. I feel like there's more upside with campaign, Doc. I feel like there's a little bit more upside with Cameron Payne. He is a very aggressive, let it fly type of guy. Kyle Lowry's going to be more in like dime mode. Cam Payne's in more hunter mode. I like where you're going there. Let's talk about Sacramento a little bit here, Doc, and Davion Mitchell and Trey Lyles. Sacramento plays on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Again, Friday and Sunday are not going to be tough to fill unless you've got like a 15-person starting lineup, and then these guys are going to be good for you those days as well. But they play tonight, okay? And Sacramento is without Malik Monk, which brings a tear to my eye. They're without Kevin Huerter. And Keon Ellis, Doc, is playing about half the game, and he's a really good defensive player, but he doesn't shoot a lot, okay? And so I'm not looking at him as a waiver wire guy right now. We're getting 5, 6, 7 points, couple rebounds, couple assists, maybe a steal, maybe a 3. Like, no, that's not it, okay? Davion Mitchell, and you think about last year, big part of the plan for them. This year, fell out of the rotation. It's been a weird year. Keon Ellis has been nipping at his heels. But now you have all of this open space at the guard positions. Boom, Davion Mitchell is back. Again, tonight, he's a good insert into your lineup. In the last game, he had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 threes. That line was billowed a little bit by the fact that they trucked the Clippers and kind of ran away and hid. And so some of those numbers are a little bit inflated. But, Doc, I think we can get 10 points, 3 and 3, 1 to 2 threes, and a steal from Davion Mitchell tonight. I like Davion Mitchell. I think he's a terrific player. Loved him coming out of Baylor, helped them win a national championship. And he knows, Doc, that this is a big opportunity for him right now to play well, gain some anchor back into that rotation. So I like Davion tonight. And Trey Lyles is another interesting guy. He's got 3 threes in back-to-back games, Doc. So where are you going there in terms of who you'd rather pick up tonight?
I think I'm good with Davion Mitchell, given how the Kings' backcourt has just been devastated, and Trey Lyles is more of a front court guy, but he's a good 3-point shooter too. So I think they're both good pickups. Mitchell, I think, might be on my Cam Dynasty team. I'll have to have my assistant go.
I already picked him up. All right, yeah, I can tell you he's on Rick Kamla's team in the Cam Dynasty, and I will be running him out there tonight.
Well, he's on some fan tracks league that I'm in. How about that? My fan
how dare you refer to the Cam Dynasty as such? I will not allow such slander to happen here on the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. It's the Cam Dynasty, Doc. I know you don't care about this league, but it's the Cam Dynasty.
I do care about the league.
No, you don't.
I'm just not very good at it. By the way, are you in the finals against Kreitz?
I am in the finals against Darren Wolfson. He beat Ken Kreitz last week on our tiebreaker. So I don't do turnovers. I hate playing with turnovers. Okay. So that's the 9th category. It usually decides ties. What a bullcrap way to decide ties. Okay. Because the better team always loses turnovers. The better team has the guys playing the most minutes with the highest usage rate and the best goodies. Those guys are the guys that turn the ball over. Okay. Going back to a debate that in a whole thing I've had for since I started.
Your whole life.
Doc, literally when I invented fantasy basketball in 1989 at Sigma Nu Fraternity, we did not play turnovers. Even back then, I was like, no. We had a 5-category league back then. Okay. And then I expanded to 8. And all of these for League Freak. And then all these days later here in the Cam Dynasty, it's at 8. Okay. We don't do turnovers. So my tiebreaker is PRA for the week, points, rebounds, and assists. And Darren had more PRA than Ken Kreitz. It was a very tough L for Ken to take. Pardon me one second. Tyrese Maxey was a late scratch on Sunday, and pretty much the reason why Ken Kreitz is not in the championship round against me right now. Heartbreaking loss for him. But, Doc, what goes around comes around. Because last year, Ken Kreitz won the Cam Dynasty Championship over Justin Fensterman of Fantasy Sports Radio, and a lot of you know his name. Okay, he's a big-time guy and a great guy. I love Justin. They tied 4-4 in the championship game. Last year, the tiebreaker was regular season finish. So Justin made the championship round out of the 8 hole. Okay. We go 8 teams make the playoffs and 1 plays 8 and reseeds and all that kind of stuff. Justin made it all the way to the final game, could have won it 4-4, but the tiebreaker was seeding or record or whatever. And so Kreitz had the better regular season record. He won. There was a little bit of pushback on that. I didn't feel great about that. And so I said, let's create a stat tiebreaker. Let's just go PRA here. And so Darren beat Ken last week on the PRA. So there you go, Doc. And we love Ken Kreitz, okay? The K train, baby. But as you know, Doc, what goes around comes around in fantasy, man. And, the tiebreaker thing literally got him a championship last year. And the tiebreaker thing this year, didn't go his way. So that's how it goes, man.
The tiebreaker giveth, and the tiebreaker taketh away.
That is correct. Yeah. That is correct.
Kreitz was on my show on Tuesday, and we did not talk a lot about that loss. I think he was still reeling a little bit from it, and we didn't get into it, but we did talk a lot about his Celtics. He's still got real basketball to care about because his Celtics are good.
They are. Again, I feel bad for Ken. I do. I felt bad for Justin last year. Frankly, I felt I'm equally bad for both. I'll leave it at that. I mean, Doc, you and I mean, anybody that's played fantasy at a high level with high stakes for a long time, we've all had bad beats and we've had exhilarating wins, and it's part of the game. It's the game that we chose, man. And then I want to throw out a couple of really deep league specials here, Doc. These are real deep, okay? Like if you're in a 30-team league, a 20-team league, a 16-team league, or if you're in a 12 or 14 that's got one of those starting lineups where, it's 3 point guards and 3 shooting guards and 3 SFs and 3, and it, I'm in some of those leagues that are just huge. And those are the leagues where us hardcores have the advantage because we know the whole league. Like these guys, Doc, Justin Holiday of the Nuggets is a good pickup for tonight. And Denver plays Thursday and Saturday, okay? The two holes that we're looking to fill. Now, this all hinges on Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray comes back tonight, then I think Justin may fall out of the rotation. But Jamal Murray being out the last 6 games, Justin Holiday has been in the rotation, good source for steals and threes, playing about 20 minutes a game. Doc, he's played 20-plus minutes in 3 of the last 5 games, okay? Again, it's a super deep league special, but look at Justin Holiday, guys. He can give you 10 points, 2 threes, 1 steal, the kind of stuff we're talking about here.
Dan Vespris has Justin Holiday against me in 30 deep, but he's got him on his bench. I got scared of Rashawn Holmes this week and benched him and picked up Chetty Osman.
Good call.
Well, I picked up Chetty Osman.
Well,
I had Chetty Osman on my bench, so I put him in my lineup, and then he was balling out on Monday and stepped on somebody's foot, and now he's probably toast for the whole week, and that's going to leave a mark. Chetty Osman was going to make or break my fantasy year, and that is so fitting on so many different levels. The Chetty pill is a tough pill to swallow.
Indeed it is, my friend. You took my brain in an interesting direction. The 2 guys that I'm going to mention right now, they don't fill the Thursday or Saturday hole because the Spurs play Friday and Sunday and the Wizards play Friday and Sunday. But Julian Champagnie of the Spurs is a stud. Justin Champagnie of the Wizards is a stud. Are they a stud like Jalen Johnson or Evan Mobley? No. They're like low-key stud, okay? These guys put up numbers. They are excellent sources of 3 balls, okay? They give you some steals. They board the ball. They're scoring in double figures. I like them, man. I like them a lot. So let's get to a little bit more of that. I want to circle back to some blocks, drops, Doc.
Are you gonna talk about Kobe Buffkin? Because I'm very excited to see who he played for.
Let's bring you into the rundown here on the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast.
I have no idea who Kobe Buffkin
and Steve Alexander. Kobe Buffkin plays for Steve Alexander's Hawks. Okay, Kaka, and he's a hotshot rookie, 1st-round pick. He's been hurt and buried, and I think G-Leagued this year. I don't know. He's off my radar. I don't care. Okay, boom, he's back there playing him. Yep, he's on my radar now. And so the numbers aren't great, but he's in the rotation. And again, if you're in these deep, deep leagues and you've got holes to fill, boom, Atlanta plays on Thursday and Saturday. Hello, these are the holes we're looking to fill here. So yes, again, a deep league special, Doc, and Kobe Buffkin plays for your Atlanta Hawks.
Who knew? Who knew? But I'm telling you, man, like that is the kind of information an Atlanta Hawk that has come out of nowhere because Critchie or whatever his name is, like he's been balling for the Hawks. Kobe Buffkin's probably going to start balling for the Hawks. They play on Thursday and Saturday. I mean, if you outgame your guy on Thursday, your opponent on Thursday and Saturday, and then you both have everybody going on Friday and Sunday, you're putting yourself in a position to win. It's huge. And 3 times you're muted.
Doc, think about this as well. If you work harder than your opponent, do you have a better chance of beating your opponent?
Yeah.
So just look at it that way. You are making more of an investment in your team. You are making more of an investment in winning than your opponent. If you are, first of all, watching us here, and we appreciate you guys on the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast because you guys are in this to win this, okay? Boom, you automatically have a leg up. But now you got to go execute, and you got to go work the waiver wire, and you got to be smart if you are limited in the amount of pickups that you have per week, okay? That's why you got to be efficient and target these guys. They're going to fill 2 holes for you on Thursday and Saturday. Now, to some drops, Doc, because we've been telling people all these guys to pick up, right? Here are some drops. Nick Richards. He's been good this year, flirting with a double-double every game. He's got a foot injury. They took him off the injury report for last night, then put him back on the injury report as out. Probably not going to play again this year, honestly, with such little time left here. Go ahead and drop Nick Richards, okay? And Charlotte plays on Friday and Sunday, so not hard holes to fill anyway. Drop Sam Hauser. Boston plays on Friday and Sunday. You're going to be able to. You're not going to need him on those days, okay? And he's good. I like him, okay? I've been messing around. Sam Hauser, Doc, has been like a one-night stand like 19 times for me this year in Cam Dynasty, okay? He's my booty call. I'm always going to Sam Hauser, all right? On a Thursday or a Tuesday with the low games, I'm always rocking to Sam Hauser, man. And he just had a 7-3 ball 25-point game earlier this week, okay?
As long as Tatum or Jaylen Brown are out, I love using some Sam Hauser too.
Doc is so right about that. Jaylen Brown is the pivot because Jason Tatum plays every game. Jaylen Brown is the pivot for Sam Hauser. He's so right. When Brown is out, Hauser go. Like last night, Brown played. It was a non-Hauser game, right? You're perfect with that. Marcus Morris of the Cavaliers, Doc, is a guy to drop, okay? He didn't play last night. So he'll play 20 minutes and he'll give you 8 points and 2 threes and 4 rebounds. Okay, I can work with that. And then he doesn't play. Okay, I can't deal with the don't play thing. Cut him. Send him to waivers. Isaiah Joe, Doc, of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And people are like, oh my God, why do I would drop him? J-Dub is out and SGA is out. Well, I don't think those are long-term absences, okay? And Isaiah Joe plays Friday and Sunday, all right? The easy holes to fill. So you should be able to drop Isaiah Joe. He's still coming off the bench, okay? It's not like he's spiking up and scoring 20 points a game. And again, for all the guys that we talked about, Malachi Branham, Doc, the San Antonio Spurs play Friday and Sunday. That's why I say that. And then Trendon Watford of the Nets, who had Noah Clowney pilfer his goodies last night. So guys you can drop with the blessing of your boy Cam here, and we'll get Doc's blessing in a minute. Nick Richards, Sam Hauser, Marcus Morris, Isaiah Joe, Malachi Branham, and Trendon Watford. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's a good list. I like the fact it's schedule based. I just picked Watford up in 30 deep. I am not dropping him with a potential need to have him in my lineup next week if there is indeed a tiebreaker coming. But the Spurs schedule, Malachi Branham has been playing pretty well. But if you're not going to be able to use him because of the way the Spurs schedule is set up. So, yeah, it's a good list. I'm with you. And I'm more of a Lou Dort guy than and also who's the other guy? Who's the other guy that plays point guard? Cason Wallace than I am an Isaiah Joe guy in OKC.
So let's talk about some injuries here, Doc. Zion Williamson. I don't know where we're going with this. But I fear that we're going to get a Woj bomb or a Shams bomb today, and we're not. I fear that we're not going to get good news here. Zion Williamson last night suffered an injury to the middle finger on his left hand. That's his shooting hand. He injured it while going for a block when he slapped the backboard. Will Guillory put that out. Andrew Lopez reports that Zion said he injured his finger on a block attempt against Jalen Suggs, and then got hit again on the dunk. His middle finger on his left hand was taped at the presser. Didn't want to say too much. And Zion said they were going to get it looked at tomorrow, which, Doc, probably means testing. All right. Whether it be an X-ray or an MRI, probably both. It's a shooting hand after all, and it's his middle finger. Okay. Think about how you shoot. You shoot off your index finger and your middle finger. Okay. So it handles in the whole thing. Again, I don't know where we're going with this. All right. But I do know this, Doc. Najee Marshall is a guy to look at. Dyson Daniels, who's been playing very well since coming back from the G League after the rehab stint, and Larry Nance Jr. as well. So how you feeling about Zion? What's your level of concern? And then who would you look to downshift into as a pickup?
Have you seen the interview with him?
After the game last night?
Yeah. The video. Because
I did not.
It was sort of, you know how Joe Biden is always saying, oh, I can't say anymore. I don't want to get in trouble. That's what Zion said. He's like, they're going to look at it tomorrow. And that's all I really know. That's all I'm allowed to say. I don't really know what's going on, and I don't want to get in trouble. I mean, that's paraphrasing, but that was the vibe. And I don't recall seeing that from an NBA player recently. And it was like, Zion, do not tell them what is really wrong with your finger. Just get out there and tell them we're going to look at that tomorrow. So that sent my my concern level up a couple notches, almost as concerning as his lack of rebounds the last couple games, which is ridiculous for a man that big not to be able to walk into two or three rebounds a night, whatever. I think Najee Marshall is the right answer here, but I kind of like Larry Nance.
I would pick up Dyson Daniels of these three guys. He might not be on waivers. I would go Daniels, then Najee, then Larry. That's really good intel by Doc right there, because before we know the actual news, we got to read between the lines of stuff and use our expertise and our experience to do that. And so that's good intel right there from Doc on Zion. I don't even know why they put him up there at the podium. Usually when a guy gets hurt, they just don't make you available to the media. I really don't understand why they I mean, and also, you had all the spiciness and all of the ejections and stuff like that. Teams usually just say, "Nah, we're not sending you out there," but they did. So we'll find out with Zion. Again, I am bracing for a negative Woj or Shams bomb later on today. Miles Turner, Doc, has suffered an injury at the worst possible time. If you've been a Miles Turner manager over the years, welcome to the party. This is how it goes. He has a finger sprain, didn't play last night. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Jalen Smith started and didn't do much, but he's definitely the pickup here. But Doc, there's a guy by the name of Isaiah Jackson that I'm a big fan of, and I would like to see him he's a third string center on this team. I would love to see Isaiah Jackson on a different team where he could play 18 to 20 minutes per game, flirt with double doubles, and block 2 or 3 shots per game. He is a human pogo stick. How are you feeling about Isaiah Jackson here? Had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks last night in 22 minutes. Is it Isaiah Jackson season?
I don't think so. I like Jalen Smith, and I think Jalen Smith is the right answer here. He didn't do a whole lot last night. After Ken Kreitz, the K-Train, and I told everybody, if Miles Turner's out, you got to play Jalen Smith. Didn't really work out that well, but I think that's where the smart money goes, is with Jalen. I like Isaiah Jackson too. I wish Isaiah Jackson was on a different team. The Pacer big men are kind of like the Atlanta Hawks small forwards. There's too many of them. They all do the same thing. Somebody's got to sit. And it's usually Isaiah Jackson that gets ripped off in that formula. But I do like Jackson's game. And, it wouldn't take much for him to have a silly season success story. But Turner's going to have to be out, and they're going to have to turn to Jackson instead of Smith, which I don't know if Carlisle's ready to do that.
No, Smith's going to start. Smith has been clearly ahead of Jackson in the rotation all year long. And Carlisle's not a big fan of Isaiah Jackson. If you were a big fan of Isaiah Jackson, he'd be playing Isaiah Jackson. And Indiana is one of the deepest teams in the league. There's no doubt about that. This is a team that can actually suffer a Miles Turner injury, and they don't have another Miles Turner. But think about it. Miles Turner is out. Okay, Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson. I feel pretty good about that if I'm Indiana. Your boy Denny Avdia, Doc, took an elbow to the dome from LeBron James last night. And they said he left with a migraine. Are you sure that wasn't a concussion? I mean, a migraine. How does a hit in a basketball game lead to a migraine? Like, what are we doing here? That is probably a concussion. Anyway, Justin Champagnie. Again, I really like these guys. Julian with San Antonio and Justin with Washington. These guys can play. Doc, this is why you watch the Summer League. This is why guys and girls, 3 months from now, they're going to be in Vegas, and you're going to be like, watch, okay? Watch. Just pop the TV on. Just pop it on and leave it on. Like baseball. That's how I watch baseball, Doc. I don't watch every pitch of every game. I pop it on, I leave it on. Okay, some ambiance. Crack. You hear oh my God, somebody hit a home run. Okay, is he on my team? Was it against me? Blah, blah, blah. That treat the Summer League that way. Turn it on, leave it on. That's what I do. And guess what? I got hip to Justin Champagnie and Julian Champagnie in the Summer League last year. These guys were popping and having big games. I'm like, I like these guys. Orlando Robinson of Miami is another guy that caught my eye in the Summer League, okay? And again, we can use this information. And you don't know when. It's silly season. It's weird, Doc, right? You get this intel over the summer at Summer League, and then really the payoff does not come until March or April the next year. So, again, it's for the hardcores. It's for the sickos. But Justin Champagnie started the second half for Avdia last night, had 13.7 rebounds and 3 threes. All right. Now, the problem is they play on Friday and Sunday. So we're not filling the Thursday and Saturday holes. But, that's not all of the pickups you're making. You can make other pickups and stuff like that. And I would be looking at Justin Champagnie right now, Doc, because Washington likes him. And it's a great indicator that he started the second half last night.
But you're also your league's probably not that deep. Somebody in that league already has Corey Kispert locked up, and that's who they're going to be playing from Washington for the weekend is Corey Kispert, who should go off with no Danny Avdija there. But yeah, if it's super deep, Justin Champagnie looked good last night. If he starts for Danny Avdija, he's going to be starting for fantasy team. So I like it. The schedule sucks, but I like it.
And then one more, Doc, and we can take some comments here. Tristan, I don't know how you say his name, but it's Vucevic. I don't know how you say his name. He's a Euro stash that the Wizards have over here right now. And Marvin Bagley is week to week, which means he's done for the year. Rashawn Holmes has this toe injury. He's probably done for the year because he was hurt, came back, and went back out. He's probably done for the year. So Vucevic has gone 15 points and 14 points in his last 2 games. He has 4 total threes in those last 2 games. His minutes have gone 20 last night, 31 the game before, Doc. So we're 20-plus minutes. We're double-digit points. We're 2 threes over the last 2 games here. I think Vucevic is a guy people should be looking at too.
I'm gonna let that one stand. I did not research Vucevic or however you say his name. I'm gonna rely on you for that one, and we're gonna turn to the good people that watch our show. Get some other questions.
Baby.
I still have a quick rant though, Rick.
Hit me. I love a rant.
Why in the hell does Atlanta have a baseball team in the southeastern United States, and Major League Baseball thinks it's a good idea to send them up to Chicago to start the season? Like, I don't like these postponed baseball games when I'm fired up to watch baseball at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Why don't the Braves open at home? All the home teams right now should be in the South, and the fact they're not is just stupid. That's all I got.
What can I say? I agree with you.
Okay.
It feels like Atlanta and Philadelphia have played like no games already this year. You know what I'm saying? With postponements and stuff like that. Their first game of the year was postponed, Doc. Literally, correct me if I'm wrong. The opener for those guys was postponed last week.
Yeah, and we got pushed back. You're right.
So
Christian Rogers says, and I'm surprised we didn't mention Damian Lillard. You talk about checking out at the wrong time, dude. Damian Lillard is killing his fantasy managers right now. Personal reasons, injuries, just like he's just not there. So it's crushing Christian Rogers in his championship. It would be crushing me in my championship. If nothing else, Christian, we feel your pain, and I'm sorry that this is happening to you, sir.
If this goes back to the daily league versus the weekly league, and if you're 30 deep is weekly. When the season is over, I'm going to send an email to all of the people in this league, a very well thought, very well crafted email to try to convince people to change 30 deep to a daily league, not a weekly league. I haven't won the 30 deep championship yet. Okay. And literally the reason why is injuries at bad times. And I'm stuck with Gobert in my lineup with the rib thing, and I can't get him out, and I take an L. Okay. And a whole season of work and a whole season of hope looking for that holy grail is dashed. Okay. And I'm over it. It sucks. I think it's lame. And it reminds me of the NCAA, Doc. It does. The old, stodgy, archaic NCAA, which is still pissed about NIL because of power and control and greed. And how dare these young people, while in college, do a State Farm commercial and become millionaires on our watch. Well, screw you, buddy. Okay. Why can't other people have success and drive a Mercedes-Benz and eat lobster for dinner? Okay. Why should it only be you? Now, let's reel it back in here to 30 deep, Doc. I'm still going to play 30 deep no matter what. Okay. And I'm not going to retire if and when I finally win this championship. But it does piss me off that it is a weekly league and not a daily league. We're better than that. And you know what I don't want to hear, Doc? You know what I do not want to hear? And there will be a feisty retort in an email if I see some pushback on this. The whole, well, guys are busy and they need just an easy way to go about their fantasy. I don't want to burden them with having to maneuver their lineup every day. Well, then we should have some new members in the 30 deep league. If we are, there's too many games, there's too many leagues and all that. No, how about you prioritize 30 deep? And every day you look at your lineup in 30 deep. Is that so hard? Doc, if you are one of the hardest core fantasy basketball players on earth, which is what 30 deep is comprised of, don't you think we can do a daily league and not a weekly league? Don't you think that the people have the 3 minutes a day of bandwidth to make it a daily league instead of a weekly league?
Yes. I'm with you 1,000%. Dude, I may lose 30 because I put Chetty Osman in my lineup.
That's what I'm saying.
The whole week.
It should not happen. It should not happen. I had to play. Remember the week, 2 weeks ago, I'm still in it. I mean, I hated my team, but right, I still have hope. Okay. I'm a beast. I'm a gangster at this thing. I'm never going to give up, but am I going to start Luka Garza and maybe get no games from him, or start Rudy Gobert, who I might get half the week from? I shouldn't have to make those decisions, brah. I pick up Luka Garza. I pivot off of Gobert if he's out and play Garza. And if Rudy's in, I play Rudy. Boom. Move on to the next. It's not that hard, man.
Would you do 3 games of Highsmith or 2 games of Io DeSumo or Max Strus? I need points and steals. 3 games of Highsmith.
Wow, is that hard?
2 games of Io or Strus.
Man,
I think I'm taking the extra game and just praying.
I got to let me look at Io real quick. I'll tell you, I'm not dropping Strus, but I would rather have this scenario you're painting for me. And Strus flirted with a triple-double last night, but he's rounding back into form after missing a long time with that knee injury, right? Let me look at Io here.
Or he also says he could do 2 games of Rui Hachimura.
Nah, no, I'm looking. So I'm looking at Io here, Doc. Last 5 games, he's between 12 and 17 points. The defense has completely gone away. The rebounds and assists are at 3 and 3. He's got 7 3 balls in the last 5 games. I think our guy Io might be tiring a bit here, Doc. And Haywood Highsmith, who I picked up in the Cam Dynasty, and I'm going to be rolling him out there tonight. He's been 17, 18 points, and I believe this is now 4 games in a row for Haywood. Doc, he's been given some steals. He's definitely hitting a lot of threes. And so here's the thing about Haywood Highsmith. Let's go back to the NBA Finals against Denver last year. He played. And remember, a lot of it, who is this Haywood Highsmith guy that the Heat are playing? It's the freaking finals, and Haywood Highsmith is on the floor. That speaks to how much this team loves him and trusts him, okay? And he's playing really well, Doc. And they've got, they've kind of pared down the rotation. Pat Riley, we go to 8 when it's playoff time, right? And Haywood Highsmith is getting 25, 26, 28 minutes in that new rotation. Rock with Highsmith, man. I'll take the extra game. I'm with Doc on this. If Io was really cooking, I'd say I'd rather have the 2 games of Io, but Io's not really cooking right now, Doc.
No. And, Alex Caruso won't go away. Io was hot for a minute. I think, like you said, he might be running out of gas a little bit. Matt Carby says, who do you like best for head-to-head Yahoo Points League? Paul Reed, Trey Lyles, Precious Achua, Highsmith again, Pajemski, or Ellis, who is...
Oh, is that Keon Ellis? Keon Ellis is a no.
Keon Ellis.
I would say Paul Reed's a no. I think Embiid's going to keep playing here.
Yep.
I don't know know the schedule on all these guys, Doc. I don't, Lyles I know plays tonight and over the weekend.
Yeah.
I got to look up some of the schedules here to give our guy here the most definitive answer.
That's you just say in a vacuum. In a vacuum, I like Achua here. Or in a vacuum, I like Pods. That's without getting a deep dive on the schedule. But for me, it's Poj or Achua.
Let me look up Poj or Achua here real quick because I'm leaning towards Achua with this one. He plays. There's our answer. He plays tonight, Friday and Sunday. It's a 3-pack for Achua. Hart is questionable tonight. Robinson is questionable tonight. You've got the guys out, obviously. Achua is my guy right there.
Milan says Peyton Pritchard is going to be the rest of the season MVP because Drew Holiday is a defensive weapon right now, but his offense is, Drew, if you had Drew Holiday on Monday and he shot 1 of 11, he might have cost you a championship because you played him.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that. Peyton Pritchard here, Doc. No. Mm-mm. What are we doing here? In the last 5 games, he's gone 15, 4, 2, 7, 11. No. Peyton Pritchard has spiked games. Peyton Pritchard has 2 3-balls in the last 5 games. What are we doing here?
He is in my starting lineup in 30 deep. I need it to be Peyton Pritchard's season right now. Is Mr. A wants to know, is Jabari Parker an ad and drop Nick Richards?
Who?
Dude, that goes right in line with you dropping with your drop Nick Richards segment. Yeah.
Jabari Parker. I think you said Jabari Parker. Do you mean Jabari Walker?
With Portland. That's probably what he means.
Wait, did he write Jabari Parker or did you? Because I love the Jabari Parker reference here.
Oh, no, he wrote that. I do not write these. I'm just
that's hilarious. Them. Jabari Parker is in like Germany or Switzerland or something right now, making cash over there. Jabari Walker. Let me look up Walker here real quick, Doc. Portland is so confusing with the ins and the outs. He's played 40 minutes the last 2 games, Doc. Oh my God, he had 22 rebounds in the previous game. He had an 18, 9, and 5. Yeah, and you look at this. Kamara appears to be out for the year. Chris Murray, Doc, he's just not that good, man. And I'm not gonna say he's a bust or anything like that. It's his first year. Don't you think that a Murray brother would be like a driller from 3, right? Because the way Keegan Murray shoots the rock, don't you think his twin brother would be like a really good 3-point shooter? He's not. I'm with Jabari Parker. Now the thing with Parker, is again, we're talking about a Friday, Sunday situation. So we're not filling the difficult holes on Thursday and Saturday. But yeah, I mean, he just had 22 rebounds. Go ahead and scoop him up.
We're at an hour. That's when I get. He did mean Jabari Walker, by the way. We're at an hour. That's when I usually start to get yelled at, Rick. So Milan is just backing it up with Boston's going to rest everybody when they play the worst teams. You heard it here first. It's going to be Peyton Pritchard's season. I can't wait for that because it means I'm going to win 30 deep. Rick, I'm going to see you a week from today right here doing this again. We'll probably know the 30 deep outcome by that point. We'll
Good
know
luck,
the Cam
my friend.
Dynasty outlook by that point. We're going to know a lot more stuff. I'll be back Tuesday with Kieran and I will be here Tuesday. And Rick, have a great day and have a great show this afternoon on Sirius.
Appreciate that, my brother. Be well. Good luck, everybody.